Podcast, episode 47 for November 28th, 2016. This wonderful episode is brought to you by our incredible Patreons who have supported us throughout the year here. Special shout out to Linz and Dano again from Not Quite Nerds for putting up the extra cash to help keep this going here. Again, guys, the love is appreciated, so thank you very much for that. Hey guys, welcome back. Yet another episode as we are kind of getting close to the end of the year here. Yeah. You know who I am. I'm your curmudgeon and frozen person here because I'm all bundled up today. Warp Jester. Yeah. And below me here, we've got the real Frozen North.
Yeah, it's started snowing here, actually. Toronto's not hit that much, but it's Kirak here. And the polar bears are coming south now.
The polar bears? The polar bear tea party, polar bear Christmas.
Yeah. You got it.
Well, you know, it must be White Christmas, so just in time. Anyways, so tonight, guys, we've got some good news stories, heavy on the VR topics, oddly enough. And then for our main topic tonight, we actually wanted to talk about how me and Kirak got into gaming. I know I've probably touched on and told stories about my life in the past year, but I think it was a good time to actually really dive in and talk about where our gaming roots are and kind of what we've gone through progressing. Now, I don't think it's that interesting, but I'd love to get a chance to tell you guys, share a little bit about it. So we'll go ahead and do that. But first, the news. Okay, so where to begin? So the PlayStation VR Cinema Mode works for PC, Xbox One, and Wii U. Mm-hmm. Basically, I was a little more excited about this until I started reading into it and then found out some other details about it. Basically, what it boils down to is the PSVR is literally a little more than two screens for your face. It has an HDMI cable that you can plug into things, and it turns out that you can plug it into things, and it works like a TV on your face. Shock of shocks. There's some details in the article here from Eurogamer that talks about it in a little detail, and basically, if you want to use it as a screen on your face, there you go. There was I'm trying to find out. There's a couple articles in this. There was a mod or a hack.
Okay.
That would kind of get the PSVR to work on some other things.
Oh, really?
But it was very crippled.
Oh, you mean other things other than the PC, Xbox One, Wii U?
Yeah, well, other than just the basic video input, you could actually move around and understand things.
Oh, okay. Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I grabbed this article, didn't grab that one, so I apologize.
No. Well. The thing is I went through them and filtered, and I figured this one would be the best one to talk about. But I like it because you can't really play a game from a Wii U through the headset in virtual space, but you are in a virtual setting like a big screen TV or a big cinema, which is pretty sweet. I like the idea of that.
It's one of those things of sometimes it's nice to have like literally a full vision TV in front of you and not have a giant TV in your room.
Yeah, so if you don't even have a TV in your room, you could still play the console.
And you can watch porn, nobody would know.
Wait a second.
Other than the joystick in your lap.
No, hang on. Wait. Oh, I've been sitting on this vibrating thing for like hours. God. Okay, so yeah, it's fantastic, the idea behind it, but it does require, from what I was reading, it does require that they have the PS4 tagged in because the actual breakout box needs the PS4 connection to work.
Yeah, that was kind of a weird thing. I was trying to understand that, but
kind of sucks.
So you still have part of because there's the VR goggles and then there's the base unit, and the base has some mojo to it. But anyways,
yeah.
Long story short, if you really want to have a cinema media experience, and you happen to have one of these things just laying around your house, you're pretty much good.
Yeah, you can do it, which is actually quite awesome.
Well, it's making VR a little more versatile.
Yeah. Speaking about VR, and as you mentioned, tonight is a VR heavy night. Another thing that's going on with VR is they're in law, they're looking to see if they can include VR in courtrooms. So I recall a few episodes back, we briefly mentioned this actually, and I didn't even know that this was really being looked into seriously. But essentially, they're talking about using VR headsets in courtrooms with jurors for things such as recreation of crime scenes, giving them a more visceral experiences to where immersive. Thank you. That's actually better. That's the word I was looking for. So they can actually see what took place in a certain environment in a certain space. Because that's one of the things that, and I'm being a person who's been through jury duty on a case, it can be difficult to visualize what someone is describing. You know, because you'll have different people throughout the course of the case go up and give their recount. Is that the right word? Account. Their account of what happened, and you're basically painting a picture in your head based on what you're hearing. This could give the people who not the case, sorry, the people who study the crime scene, so the police officers and stuff, an ability to build that crime scene in a virtual world, and then you can actually go and see it, which adds a whole new dimension to it. Another thing that they mention is that it might even if it were to get into the courtroom scene, it might even be a situation where you don't necessarily have to have jurors all collected in one place at once, or prospective jurors all collected in one place at once. They could, like I had to do jury duty a couple weeks ago. I got lucky, it didn't work out, but I ended up going home. But normally I was expecting to stay there for a whole week while they're pulling and choosing people. That wouldn't be necessary. You could just plug in from home and they'd make the selection process. Although I kind of find that hard to believe that it would ever get that far. And then there are possible drawbacks that they're discussing, like the ability for people to use it with glasses, maybe uncomfortable, motion sickness.
We've talked about the mating of a headset to a face with, glasses versus without, and other things like that.
Yeah.
The cost of them is going to be inhibiting. I mean, yeah. I look at one aspect and think, okay, so if you come into a crime scene and you take 3D or 360 video of the crime scene, I can see the huge benefit there of people are going to have a much easier time understanding. They're not going to see these, poster boards of diagrams of floor plans. They're going to see the room. So they say, hey, the guy charged me from across the room. They can get a better understanding of what that is. So that makes sense to me. Now, that said, here's the downshots. If you're trying to recreate something that's not there, I mean, taking video of a static room after a crime scene has happened is recording what you see, the dead body here, the knife over there, etc. But when you start using VR to try to paint a picture or tell a story, think about how much controversy there is just in the movies that come out in the movie theaters, how much people get so messed up in the head or pissed off about it because, oh my God, it showed a boob, or oh my God, it showed excessive blood. So people go, there's going to be that. Plus, when you're trying to recreate a situation, so you're trying to digitally represent the murderer was here, he walked towards the victim, etc. Man, the amount of back and forth and objection you're going to go through with both sides, because even if you're painting an accurate picture based on the idea of the facts that you have,
it's like you're really there, and that would be uncomfortable.
Well, uncomfortable for some, and what some people would perceive as being a swaying of opinions.
Yeah, so it's like
unfair advantage of sorts.
Agreed. Yeah, but I mean, I see that point of view, and I totally get what you're saying, because it could be like, no, I don't want them to show that, especially I'm trying to defend someone, I'm the lawyer, because that'll sway them into the opposite of what I want. But at the same time, depending on what the crime is, especially if it's a brutal crime, maybe that's what's needed to make the real proper verdict come through.
Yeah, but you got that fight of how much they should really show of that brutal scene they get to try to sway people. You know, telling somebody they've been stabbed 5 times in the chest and seeing a body on the ground that's got 5 stab wounds in the chest and blood everywhere.
Yeah.
That's, we're talking about being visceral, or we're talking about being immersive.
Super
that
graphic.
Could be too much. I mean, I've seen old ladies in lounge chairs freak out because they're on a roller coaster in VR,
Yeah. I hear you.
We're talking about technology would be really helpful for accuracy, but at the same time, being
really
so immersive can have its downsides.
Yeah.
Now, that said, being immersive can have its upsides. In this particular case, Bethesda is playing on a full Fallout 4 VR support, which I first of all, I want to say right off the top here, you can go back an episode or 3. I think it was actually one with Nacho, and I want to say that I said this exactly.
You did?
RPGs like this, where you're actually in the world, things where you're not so tied up with having to have accuracy and moving around, these would be perfect games for this because you'd be totally immersive, totally in the world. And I think this would be just absolutely epic. And there you go. So
yeah,
me.
I remember when I can't remember how many years back it was, the first E3 where they announced Fallout 4, and they also announced the Pip-Boy that you could buy separately and so on, the collector's edition version. On that same E3 stage, they announced that, I'm pretty sure it was on that same E3 stage, they announced that they're going to port Fallout 4 to VR.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies who have said to some extent, yeah, we're looking into it.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And like I said, there are some games that will work for. There's some games that will not work for. I can see the benefits of many different games for having VR and some that won't. First-person shooters, like I said, too fast. You're spinning around too much. You'd actually have a physical disadvantage being in VR versus somebody just playing with a mouse and keyboard in front of their monitor. But this kind of environment
is perfect.
Absolutely be perfect for it. So
I can't wait. I have the game, and when I heard that they were doing this, I decided I'm not playing it. I just really hope that when they do release the VR version, that it's like $20 or $30 update to the existing rather than buying the whole game again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, maybe we'll have beta testing for you. You can join the beta test team.
Maybe. Speaking about beta testing, there is actually one beta program going on that I did apply for, and that is Alchemy. Alchemy is the company that have made VR games such as, I think it's Job Simulator, if I'm not mistaken, but they are working on different technologies to help people do mixed reality videos. And this is cool. This is what I want to get to. So if anyone's ever gone to my channel, you can see me playing VR games, and I'm on the bottom right corner usually, bottom right corner with a green screen behind me, and it shows you what VR is like, or the game, and what I'm seeing on the main part of the screen, and me working and playing and doing stuff. But it doesn't give that sense of immersion to the viewer. It's very hard to get across.
Okay.
Right?
Now I'm understanding.
So this mixed reality has been around pretty much since the beginning of VR stuff, but it's always been tedious, hard to do. You have to have a lot of equipment, a really, really big green screen that covers the roof, the floor, and so on. These guys have started improving software technology so that you can actually achieve all those things even with a smaller green screen room area. And if you don't necessarily need to throw green screen all over the place. It's pretty awesome. So they have an open beta, and you can actually go to their website and apply to it so that you can be part of the testers to help them improve the software to do certain things like this. Like one of the improvements is transparencies. So you can actually make it look like, if the game has a transparency where there's something in front of you, you can actually see through that, where before it wouldn't really do that well.
Gotcha.
Another one is
the technology looks great. I mean,
yeah, and it's a lot more accurate. It takes less work prepping to be able to merge all the elements, the foreground, the background, the middle ground. Yeah, so
And so I'm looking at some of the little gifts they have, and the thing to note here, guys, in case you're missing it, it's like this here that they're showing the guy in basically green screen room as if he was in the game. You notice that the lighting actually
follows.
Yeah, you actually see the light reflecting off of his face.
Yeah.
It's like the scanning across the face.
And I've seen them do that with other green screen techniques, but the way they do that is they actually have somebody follow the person who's being filmed with a light colored wand to give that effect.
Mm-hmm.
Right, on their body, so it looks like that lighting's on their body.
Now this is doing the extrapolation on its own, and as you can see here, they're talking about the green screen, where it's a smaller green screen. It takes the cues off of that, and then continues the view beyond the green screen, seaming it together as if it had a full green screen room.
It's really cool.
It's amazing.
It's really cool.
It's
so
amazing.
For beta, it's awesome. I wish they were recruiting, because then I'll go there.
Go over there and work for them.
Part of it, yeah.
Take heart, my friend. It may not be for them, but at the very least, you can see if you can get a job over at Blizzard, because apparently they're recruiting for an unannounced project using a first-person engine. Which, I'll be honest with you, I was really sketched about even bringing this article up, just because it is such a nothing article in my mind, just in that we know absolutely nothing. And it's just like, hey, this could be preparation for an expansion to Blizzard's widely popular Overwatch, or it could be something completely new that's different, or it could be nothing.
Yeah.
So it's all speculation.
It's all speculation, yeah.
All it is there's a posting and a job site for Blizzard for somebody who has this kind of experience. So, rev up the rumor mill.
I got to say, I'm not an Overwatch fan, and people are going to hate me for saying this. I saw it, and I was like, Team Fortress 2 copy, different skin. Now, there are people like Ruark who swears by it. No, it's totally different. You got to try it. But it's just not the kind of game I'm too interested in. But if they were to add a campaign, let's say, if maybe that's why they're bringing these people on, I would consider it, because I like storyline games. I like getting involved in that kind of stuff. So
anything's possible.
Yeah. And I wonder if they'd add it in as a DLC or something like that. And I wonder if they would charge, because you know what? Ubisoft is actually talking about stop selling compulsory DLC.
This is interesting. When I started reading the details about it, it seemed very duh to me, but I never really thought about it until I started reading this.
So essentially, I skimmed through it. They announced that they're basically they will no longer be selling expansions so people are required to get those expansions to experience the core game, right? Which I think is amazing. I think that's a great step in the right direction, because I remember thinking in my own mind months and years ago, man, I hate how the direction games are taking, where they don't launch a game and that's your game. They launch a game, and obviously they're planning ahead when they're building the game to launch snippets to add on to that game, so they can charge you more for that, which makes good business sense. But it's kind of, I hate to use this word, but to me it feels like it's kind of poisoned games or gaming.
I can see that. Here's the thing. Like I said, when I first started reading this article, I wanted to kind of understand better what they're talking about, and the explanation they gave, which I think is really, really good explanation. The key to introducing DLC. This is a quote from the vice president of live operations.
Okay.
The key to introducing DLC is, if it's not adding something on top of the actual experience of the game, then it's no good. She went on to say, take the analogy of an amusement park, okay? You can go through all the rides, but you can also go through the shops, buy some food, get some swag, etc. That's added too, but it's not changing the experience of the rides in any way, and you're not forced to,
right?
In any way, shape, or form. So it makes a lot of sense. Basically, what they're saying is, if you have X game and you want to play with your friends, you're not going to be forced to buy a DLC just to get that map, or whatever that game function,
which is a lot of games have been doing that.
Yeah, a lot of games doing that. So they're shifting themselves more towards, they'll be downloadable content, but there'll be free update content for like new maps and so on. But then there'll be the more frivolous fun stuff, the better skins, and toys and whatnot. So there you go.
Like for me, I'll say this real quick before we go on. It made me think sometimes, man, I want the game when I pay the $60-$70. Are they taking the game, chopping off part of it, selling me that, which is less of a game for $60-$70, and then selling me the other part that I would have gotten anyways? Do you know what I mean?
StarCraft 2 parts 1, 2, and 3. I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm sorry. I don't want to dredge that one up. That was. That's an argument for yesteryear. Anyways,
well, they deserve an award.
They do. And luckily for us, we have the ability to create that reward because voting for the first ever Steam Awards has begun. Now this is absolutely funny. This comes on the heels of Steam's
I'm gonna do this.
Fall sales going up. Now, what I love about this is the awards for the Steamy Awards. I don't know what you want to call them, but some of the basic categories they have, to give you an example, are the Test of Time Award, the I'm Not Crying, There's Something in My Eye Award.
I love that one.
Just 5 more minutes award. Minecraft. Just one more block. The Whoa Dude Award. There's a lot of fun ones here and random ones, but you can also submit your suggestions for other awards. So there's a whole bunch of tweets that have come out. A whole bunch of tweets have come out with people adding awards like, "Wow, I was really expecting something different" award.
Nice.
I love it.
That's pretty amazing. I love that.
I will definitely be putting my 2 bits in.
So this is the first ever. Okay, so they're going to be doing this yearly for sure.
Most likely.
Yeah, I'm going to be going in there and putting my 2 cents as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, there is some additional fodder on the site you can look up regarding other things that they're doing, competitions and contests, submitting nominations for this award, also doing reviews on the games. They're encouraging people to do that, things like that. So I'd say go over there and check it out. It looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Pretty good. Okay, guys. So for news follow-ups, we talked about this before. Video game actors strike. It continues with virtual picket line. Ooh, okay. So SAG-AFTRA. I guess that's the
SAG-AFTRA.
SAG-AFTRA is asking its members to speak up on Twitter in order to show that the union's greater strength is in its unity. So SAG-AFTRA says that beginning on 12 p.m. Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern time today, its members should retweet SAG-AFTRA's whatever. I don't know what to call these guys. Twitter's post and share its Facebook story. So
Voice
the union
Actors
is also
Guild.
Voice Actors Guild. Okay.
Just call it Voice Actors Guild.
Yeah. So basically, wait, am I getting this right? That they're basically moving from an actual physical strike where they stand in front of buildings to a virtual version?
They're supplementing their physical strikes. They want to be a presence on the internet to really drive it home. So they're asking all the people who are participating to retweet and repost and thumbs up all the things that they're putting out there.
And point out that it's important.
Yeah, but I mean, some of the stuff, it's like, oh my dear God. First of all, I call picket lines very suspect at best to be really functional for any reason.
This has been going on since October 21st.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while. But the things that kill me is like the union is also calling for its members to take solidarity selfies to post. Oh my God.
You know what? I don't even know what that means.
You know what? You know what it means to me is stupid.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing that
they don't deserve what they're asking for.
Exactly.
I know exactly what you mean.
consequently, just in case you guys don't know, just a small example of what they're asking for. The game industry refuses to offer residual payment bonuses for and other profit sharing options. So, really, from what I understand, a lot of the voice actors,
Yeah, they do that in the movie industry, though, right? Residuals.
Yeah, well, I assume I hear about it. But I'm not an expert in this topic, but from what I understand, a lot of voice acting and music for games and whatnot is a one-time payment. You come and you're paid for the time you're doing the voices, doing the work, but then once you're done, you're done. That's it. So to give you a great example, the guy who is a little bit off, it's not voice acting, but the guy who did the song for Pokemon cartoon. That was a one-time job. He's not rich because of how much that song is played on the air.
But you know what? In the music industry, we do know there's residuals. Like, that's for sure.
But not in that case. But this is how it works a lot for voice acting. It's the one-time shot. So, I mean, you voice act some small game and it blows up.
Yeah.
You got the few hundred you got for doing it, and that was it. So they're just simply asking for the ability to get that. Now, I'm not going to go much further than this. Just, that's kind of where it's at. I just, getting back to point here, this online picket line BS is just that. It's fuck all BS. If you've got a small group of people that you're trying to, usually picket lines, you go to places to be a physical nuisance, to make yourself aware, be a presence. That's fine. Now you're asking this group of people, which, I'm sorry, isn't all that big compared to the rest of the internet. This is gonna be like farting into the wind. Sorry, it is.
Oh God.
Some people are just kind of dumb. Kind of like the Zune guy.
Oh, that guy.
I love this guy.
The guy you mentioned last episode.
I was gonna say we just brought this guy up, and hot damn, he's back in the news. I couldn't be the happier. So, just so you guys know, apparently the Zune guy, in case you've never met him before, here he is. Here's the Zune guy. He got the Zune logo on him because he was a big Zune fanboy.
Well, hold on. I think the article you're looking at is from. Is it from? It should have a date on it. January 2014, is it?
Yeah, the article here is no article of him, but
okay.
I appreciate you bringing this back up here because they talked about the aspect of he actually had multiple tattoos first of all related to the Zune.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what? Okay.
Just so you know.
Well, that's a big move to do one. That's commitment.
That's a word. Yeah, apparently got a couple of different ones.
A positive word.
and in the end, I love the things like his name is MS Zune Fan. He has considered changing his name to Microsoft Zune. But then they talk about there's talk about Microsoft bringing out the what was it, the Zune? I was like,
Zune Digital? No.
It was some new Zune version. He's like, I am cautiously curious, or whatever. It's like, yeah, you might want to be a little careful before you tattoo anything new on yourself.
Like, don't jump the gun this time.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways.
All right. Well.
Science!
Yeah, speaking of technology, like a new Zune, but in this case, something cooler. NASA demonstrates EM drive theory. Is it electromagnetic? I should have actually looked at that.
What it is effing witchcraft.
Well, it's something that shouldn't work. Apparently, it defies a few laws of physics.
Yeah, like the third law.
So essentially, it's a drive. It's touted as a fuel-free engine. So it's something that they would be looking into.
Just in case you missed it, guys, we're talking about space travel here. So
yeah, I was going to say.
It's not going to be in your car.
No, it would be something for space travel. Because one of the biggest problems with space travel is the fuel necessary to even break Earth's gravity. And then if you're traveling farther, then you got to carry all that fuel with you to get that far. But it's not as much as when you have to get out of the gravity or out of Earth's gravity. So this would be cool because you could use the same kind of technology to get out of Earth's gravity, eject your chemical rockets or whatever they may be, and then you use an EM drive to get you through space to wherever you need to go. I was watching the video, and it has to do with microwaves being generated inside of a certain shaped cone that vibrate in a certain direction, hitting and then being focused and channeled out of that cone, which then provides propulsion. They have shown some tests where they do see a change in movement on whatever the device is that they're set up. So they see some promise in it, but even then, a lot of the researchers are still kind of like, I don't know, I don't think this is going to work. But it's pretty cool. I mean, if they
it's not generating mass propulsion here. I mean,
no,
they say you're not going to see rockets take off from the ground or anything like that. But yeah, because of at least the math behind, you know, the conical jet and the way the microwaves
or theory,
the way they bounce around, this should theoretically be able to generate propulsion and actually propel things forward. When you're in space, there's minimal resistance of any sort. Minimal amount of pressure can be perpetual, can be gained and keep going. Same kind of concept with like solar sails. Solar sails, you're actually catching photons, if you will, from the sun, so you can actually sail through space in that regard. This breaks all kinds of laws, though, because
you can't get something out of nothing, right?
Yeah, that is exactly it.
Yeah.
This is, as you said, this is effectively creating something from nothing in a sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good videos that have already come out regarding this, and much like the video they have in the Engadget clip here, I want to believe, I really do, because this could be a huge thing if it works. But if it works the way they say it is, or they want it to, then it's going to have a whole lot of scientists pissed off and running to the books to try to figure out what the hell is going on. Because, like I said, this breaks fundamental laws of science.
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess sometimes you need something like that to kind of make it interesting.
Hey, you know what else you need?
You need a VR game again?
Absolutely. Well, you need a VR game.
Matter of fact, hold on. I don't think I have the guts to buy this game.
I want to start a fund for you. I'm going to do a GoFundMe. We're going to go ahead and create a GoFundMe for Kirok to get him to buy.
So I'll explain. Our viewers are probably like, what
Pen Island.
Talking about? There is a game on Steam. I think it's like $8 or $9 Canadian, right, called Pen Island VR. Pen Island VR. And
this is where you go, okay.
Me and my buddies, we throw around this joke a few times, Pen Island, Pen Island. So that's why when I saw this, I was like, Pen Island? Are you kidding me? Clicked on it, and if you look at the way the words pen and island are together, and you kind of imagine two of the words in the word island move over to the left and go over with pen, you'll get it. So if you watch the video, I don't know if you're going to play it. Are you going to play it? They do block it out.
I am actually playing the video this time.
Yeah, they do block it out. But the cool thing about it is you are in virtual 3D space. So you feel like you're on an island, Pen Island, and you get different equipment to protect yourself from penises flying through the air and trying to hit you.
Flying phalluses.
Like, and so you knock them out of the air trying to protect yourself. I saw this. I was laughing. I was on the floor.
So if we raise the funds to buy you this,
oh God,
are you going to put it on your channel?
Oh my God, that would be hard to explain to a lot of people.
I could give a crap less by your explanations. If this showed up in your Steam account as a gift, would you stream it or put it on YouTube?
Yeah, I probably would. I probably would, yeah.
There you go.
Everyone have a good laugh. I'm secure in my masculinity. Oh, I just went water everywhere.
All right, guys. Real
Okay.
quick on the calendar here, we've got a couple things in history that are worth noting. First is November 23rd, 2004. Blizzard Entertainment releases game called World of Warcraft.
It's a tiny games.
It was just another one of those MMOs in the list of
It's a
MMOs
blip in history.
that was going to come and go while EverQuest was still there to stay.
I
Yeah.
bought it. I bought it. I think it was around Christmas time because I remember seeing it in the stores, and I remember when I got into the game, they had like Christmas trees and all this stuff in the cities. It was really awesome. Man, those are the days.
Yeah, there's even better out there.
All right. Also, November 29th, 1972, Atari announces Pong. So the Atari Corporation announced Pong, an early video game popular both at home and video arcades. Pong, you guys have I don't know, actually. I was going to say, you guys have probably played this, but I'm taking for granted that you've seen it. Two little paddles that you move up and down, kind of like tennis, and a little ball going across the screen. And the goal is to knock it or rebound it, and it would like come across the play field, hit the little paddle,
Get the
bounce
ball
off
past the other guy.
You got it. So if you got the ball past your other guy or your opponent guy, you got a point, and that's
You
it.
make
That
things
was the
so
game.
complicated.
I know, but
It's
amazing.
Pong.
It's fun.
I can throw out my kids. I'm pretty sure they'd be able to figure out just watching it. It doesn't really need an instruction booklet.
They would be like, "This is it." No augmented reality? What?
I just imagine us diving in our room trying to catch the thing. Anyways, birthdays.
Yes.
Want to say a big happy birthday to Viesti, one of the founders and board members of BRG. I love her very much. She's a real good friend of mine. She has got a birthday coming up pretty soon here. So happy birthday to you.
And then there's also a birthday for Lunar Mech. Lunar Mech, his birthday's coming up.
Didn't write it down. I apologize.
That's okay. Oh, and I can't tell when. That's great. Can you see when? Because I can't see. It says
so.
No
Let's see, Viesti was November 26th, and Lunar Mech is going to be November 27th.
Right on. So happy birthday to both of you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
You're older. Also on the calendar, we got releases. Small game.
Oh, yes.
May have heard of it. Final Fantasy.
Yep.
It just keeps going and going and going.
It's like, when will it end? I've lost the whole point of the series.
I'm pretty sure it's like some ongoing storyline. I have no idea what it is. Also,
Watch Dogs 2 on the PC. So Watch Dogs 2 has come out on consoles, but as of the 29th, it will be released on the PC. You can actually pre-order on Steam, which is pretty cool.
Pre-order on Steam for a game that everybody's been pissing all over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had the first one, played it very little, didn't like it, decided forget the second.
Also, The Crew, calling all units. This is basically a racing chase game where it puts you in the driver's seat of the police this time instead of the person trying to run away. So if you got bored of running from the police all the time, become the police and chase them through the streets of the United States. Hooray. Cool. So anyways, guys, I'm going to take a quick break here and give a quick shout out to the Ball Rocket crew, the podcast specifically. Me and Kirok have been working our locations off, trying to get things wrapped up for the end of the year. We got a couple of end of the year shows coming up we're going to be doing. First of which is going to be a year-end review. So we're going to actually go through the year, kind of look back on the top stories and topics that have come out throughout the year, as well as throwing some clips of the podcast throughout this year, because it's actually coming up on the 1-year anniversary of the podcast. So that was December 27th, I believe.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. So I've been doing this for almost a year now.
Wow.
So we're looking for help on a couple of fronts. First is if you guys have or can remember clips or whatnot, snippets of the podcast that were funny moments, interesting moments, whatever. If you give us just the podcast episode and the date stamp, would be a really big help. It's a lot of work to watch all those, even watching the podcast at times too, which is much more entertaining for some strange reason. Uh, we would like a little bit of help if you could. So if you have any little clips you want to throw our way, appreciate it. You can go to the forums right here and post replies saying, hey, I found a clip for this time step, this area, if you could. So I'd really appreciate that. Also, going forward, we are going to have a lot of new stuff coming up. I haven't really said a lot about it because we are still in the early 8 days of it. But we are looking into Podcast 2.0. We're looking to kind of update and upgrade the podcast, give it a new look and feel. We're going to be changing up not only the art, but also the format a little bit, adding a few things, possibly giving it a few things I don't know. Again, we're still looking into it. But if you want to help out, we definitely encourage people to help out anyway. If you have thoughts and opinions, please feel free to post them here if you'd like, or send them directly to us if you'd like. If you want to be a part of it, you have some ideas for it, please do. I'm very excited to say we actually have somebody who's expressed interest in joining the team and has proposed a new segment. That'd be awesome. We will be talking more about that soon. I'm going to leave you as a teaser right now, but we got basically new staff and new segments coming up here.
You can't just do that and leave me hanging.
Oh, yes, I can. Yes, I can. So, guys, like I said, please, definitely help us out here and look forward to the new year here because we're going to have a lot of fun. Also, just a quick shout out to all of our past guests we've had over the past year. We are looking to have a roundtable for prediction show for 2017. And we're trying to get as many of our former guests back on for the roundtable, or at the very least have them record their thoughts so they can send them to us. So, guys, if you've been on the show before, you're watching, give me a call. All right. Anyways, moving on, my dear friend.
Yes.
So we were kind of up a well-known waterway without any means of propulsion when it came to the main topic tonight. But
no EM drive.
No EM drive. But Kirok had a really cool idea, which was, hey, I don't think we really had a chance to sit down and really talk about our history with gaming. So we wanted to kind of do that. So, Kirok, I'm going to let you lead into this because you have some weird crap, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. So what got me into gaming? Aside from the fact that as a young kid and I saw video games and just immediately got attracted to them, what really launched me into gaming was It's something that happened that made me pretty angry, pretty upset. Now, I'll explain what happened. We were at a flea market. I was maybe 10 years old. Maybe a little younger, and at the flea market we were walking around. You see the usual things you see at a flea market, but this was back in 80s, 81, 82 or something like that, because after I think 83, 84 I was somewhere else. So I saw these guys selling what looked like a tabletop. It was probably about yay big tabletop flat screen, and they were playing tennis, and it looked a lot like Pong. And if I'm not mistaken, it wasn't like an LCD screen. It was like one of those red glasses with glass or plastic with a little red light that went across, and you kind of had to visually imagine that it was tennis, and they would press certain buttons and the ball would go back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a link of it. It's called the Entex Tabletop Tennis 1980. That was what I wanted. I laid eyes on it. I wanted it. And of course I'm a little kid, so I'm like telling my dad, buy it. I want it. This is amazing. I want this thing. And he flat out refused to buy it. Now
thanks, Dad.
Well, but that's what, it's father and a kid. The kid's going to want anything and everything they see. But dude, I remember walking back to the car and being so upset at my father and literally thinking to myself, that's it. Once I'm a grown up and I start working and I start making my own money, I will buy any and every game I ever want. And
I will hate you for the rest of my life.
No, I don't hate him. He made me into what I am because I pretty much held true to that from that point forward. Once I started making money and I started getting, of course, by that time there were more advanced games, better looking games. I was like, oh, buy that game, buy this game, and I kind of do that still. And some of them I keep like sealed and I haven't played, and that's bad. But I get
They'll be
around to them.
that's investment.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Better than a 401k.
So that was the story behind what got me into like gaming, aside from the fact that I did like games. And then it was just a bonus that over the years games got more realistic, more involved, better graphics, better hardware, and so on and so on.
Better graphics than the tennis game here.
Well, yes, but if you keep looking, like my first type of gaming experiences were handheld, mainly handheld type gaming. So there was like a plastic football one, which is, I think you'll see the link further down. But the main one was the first ones I vividly remember in my head were the video game watches that were out, specifically Pac-Man, and then also the little mini arcades. So the watch was a Neosonic Pac-Man joystick watch. You actually had a little joystick that you plug into the watch and use it.
A friend of mine had one like this.
Okay. It was awesome. It was so cool. And I spent hours playing this thing. I drained the battery out of it. And you know what the best part was? I convinced a friend of mine at school who had it to let me borrow it, and I played it all night long. So it wasn't even mine, and I drained the guy's battery.
Nice.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what I remember. That, and I also somehow convinced another friend to let me borrow the little arcade one, and it was Pac-Man. And I remember they used to have one also that was a kind of like Galaga or kind of something like that. Galaxian, that's the one. And I played those. You remember those, right? They're like a little tabletop arcade.
No, I vividly remember. I had a friend of mine that had one of those.
And those were, I killed so many hours playing on that. Oh, it was incredible. I remember specifically playing, it was Pac-Man and the Galaxian. Those were the two that I remember specifically playing. And some friends would bring them in at school and we would play them there. They were the best thing ever.
Until somebody went and yelled at you and took them away.
Yeah.
Oh man. That's some old school stuff right there.
That's like my earliest. Then I mean, if you wanted to go beyond that, console wise, I never got into the NES. I never got into any of that stuff. My first console I mentioned to you was a 3DO, and then the first real serious one was the PS1. So, how about yourself, bud?
So for me, it was well. There's some smatterings here that you pointed out that I do remember from my childhood, like the Donkey Kong, and these are so old school. But they're an LCD or a liquid crystal display screen that if you look at it just right in the light, you see all the positions of the character all the way through the whole thing. You know, it's very, very fixed. Actually, one early one that a friend of mine had that I had forgotten about until you started bringing it up, I had to bring this up, was the Tommy Digital Derby Auto Raceway.
Oh my God. I just looked at the picture.
So this thing is so old school. If you look very carefully, this is a mechanical video game. It is that is there's actually a little car on a piece of plastic that you use a steering wheel and the car goes back and forth across the screen, and the screen is a little belt that's going by.
Yes, I remember this.
And you can shift up and go faster. So that's one of the early remembrances I have. Beyond that, though, a lot of things for me was the arcades, and for kids who don't know what an arcade is, it's actually a place to have a lot of arcade games. You walked in, they had a beautiful layout of video games and skee ball and ticket machines and whatnots. My arcade of choice was Aladdin's Castle. So let's play that. I dumped so much of my dad's cash into that place. It is all kinds of flipping ridiculous, and then some. For me, like I played the original Street Fighter, and to be clear, we're talking like the original Street Fighter, as in not like all the different characters you can play, but You had a character and you went through an actual battle mode.
Okay.
Kind of a thing. So I played it way back then. Another memorable one was Super Dodgeball. This was a game that I ended up playing, like plugging a lot of quarters into.
Yeah.
At the local liquor store. Local liquor store had, like 3 video games in the corner there, and we'd go there and play. They had Street Fighter 2, I think, by that point, and a glitch version. And they had the Super Dodgeball. I played for hours on end. It was literally a little, very basic game. But it was a little dodgeball game. You could play dodgeball and knock people out of the ring.
That's amazing.
So, good old stuff. Console-wise, oh yeah, it's Spy Hunter. Forgot about Spy Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta love Spy Hunter. This was a game that me and my brother
that
would play a lot. And oh my god, we would fight over who would go second. We didn't want to go first.
It's funny you're talking about arcades because now all these memories are coming back with me and my brother feeding money into like Galaga.
Plug so many quarters into some of these damn things. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Later on in life, my cousin, his family had an Atari 2600, so I played a lot of Pitfall and Combat. Combat I love to death because you do combat with tanks, invisible, bouncy bullets. You just it's just, it was a stupid game, but it was so fun to play.
I remember Pitfall. Combat I'm not too familiar.
Now there was I did get a chance to grab some visuals of it, but I did have a stint of games I played with my cousin on the Apple IIe, including games like Lode Runner and Zork. Those were fun, and then later they ended up getting a I don't know, some early color like Apple 2CL or
2CI,
yeah,
or
whatever.
2SI.
Couple of those variants, and we had SimCity. We played the crap out of SimCity. And I mean, we're talking like this is a game that it's so old that their idea of anti-piracy was they had these manuals that instruction manuals for the game that were printed black ink on dark purple paper so you couldn't easily photocopy it. And then when you launch the game, let's say, hey, go to page blah-de-blah, paragraph blah-de-blah, and type in the phrase. And you have to open up the book, go through the pages, find it, type it in, and then let you play the game. That was their idea of anti-piracy back then.
There was another game back in around the same time, which is a popular game even now. It's Monkey Island, Secret of Monkey Island.
Okay.
And their anti-piracy was they included this two spinning disc or 2 wheels, printed paper.
Oh my god, yes.
You remember that? And you flip it around and it would line up. So it would give you a year. You'd flip it around till the year lines up, or the face. So a picture of a face on the screen. You flip it around till the top half of the face and the bottom half of the face match what's on screen. It gives you a year number and you type it in and then you're in the game.
Yep.
Oh, man.
The things they did back in the early days of anti-piracy were hilarious, to say the least. And of course, it was all about trying to find ways to circumvent that. Not that I would ever do that, Napster.
No. I might still have my photocopy of those discs.
Beyond that, later in life, I ended up getting an NES. So, of course, I had Mario, Duck Hunt, the usual. I played a lot of Mario for a while. I was one of those people that got to level 8, 2, or wherever. There was this one, like 2 little short jumps and a long jump, and I could never make that goddamn jump, and I finally just said F it and gave up. Never finished it.
Don't feel bad. I never played any of those Mario games.
Well, that means you never failed at them. Also loved playing Tetris with my friends. Tetris was a game that this was back when we were renting games from Blockbuster, or I think it was Blockbuster. And this is the one that we kept bringing it back to renew it and bring it back. Me and my friends would play for hours on end. There was one point that the blocks were just flying down, and like it was one thing. Your perception may vary, how you remember it. All I remember was I'm sitting there like just watching the blocks come down. I quick glance over at my friends, and I just see the Blake dumbfounded look on their face of holy shit, how are you doing this?
That's awesome.
It's like that was
on
that.
NES?
Huh? This was on the
This
NES.
was on NES? Nice,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, it was to see the look on their face. You knew you were doing something good.
That's awesome.
um,
I played this mostly on Game Boy when Game Boy came out.
I did have a Game Boy. I did play that on the Game Boy. I also played Pokemon Red and Blue, I think it was,
Okay.
on Game Boy as well. For me personally, I didn't have consoles for a big stint of time, but I had a roommate, and he had like every single console laid out. I went out and bought a whole bunch of multi-selector AV.
Oh,
So you
yes.
had the RCA cable to plug into one, 2, 3, 4, and then the fourth one would be daisy chained to the next one, and daisy chained to the next one. Yeah, we had
That's
NES,
hilarious.
Super NES, 64. We had the Atari 2600.
Yeah.
We had the Sega Genesis. We had the TurboGrafx 16, the Jaguar,
Yeah, I remember the Jaguar.
and
I played Doom on that.
and the PS1.
Oh, yes.
And the PS1 was when I got back into playing a lot of console games. I really enjoyed the PS1 a lot.
So, okay, I'm going to let you continue, but hold on a second.
Mhm.
You played consoles. You're not a console player now.
Well, this is back. Okay, so kids, we're talking about back in the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't have a computer. My
Okay,
cousin
all right.
had a computer because his dad did financial work for his business.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't. We're talking about pre-internet here, kids.
Yeah,
Yeah, for a
before
lot
internet.
of this, it was pre-internet. My family didn't end up getting a house computer until I was after high school. So, you know, when I had to go and take care of, like, oh, I don't know, a report, I had to go down to this place called the library. And I had to know this thing called the Dewey Decimal System to find shit. Because I didn't have Google. Yeah.
Oh.
Those were dark days, my friend. Dark days indeed. And because of that, I'm not proud to admit it, but I went to an alley and I played console, all right?
So wait, okay, all right. So back to PS1. What was your favorite? What did you like? What
What
was it?
A couple things stand out to me. The biggest one was Armor Core. Armor Core was the shiznit of games at the time. It was bitchy because it was a I think like a 2-disc game.
Yeah.
That you were this basically you're a mech mercenary. You get hired for jobs, and as you got paid jobs, you could build up your mech, get better armor, better guns. You could change out your legs for tracks or hover plate or whatever. It was for its time, and I know again it's hard for the younger crowd to appreciate this, but we're talking back in the days of early gaming. To have a game that was this flexible, to customize your mech in such a unique way, to take on game levels
Yeah.
outside of the norm. You know, a game level wasn't built with, you are going to be exactly this with this many rounds of this type of gun, that's it, go. It was, you could try, I'm going to do an entire game with nothing but grenade launcher. And you could do it in this game, so that blew me away. So there were a lot of other fun
PS1
games
was huge, eh?
Huh?
PS1 was huge.
Oh, but it was remarkable. If people haven't heard about the fallout between PlayStation, well, Sony and Nintendo, yeah, they managed to unearth the actual prototype.
Oh, did they show it? Is there any existing
at the gaming show up in Oregon that just happened recently.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Heck was there. Ben Heck. You watch a Ben Heck show. He's a tech geek that builds things. He's very good at breaking down components, showing you how they're built, how to make them, soldering and whatnot. And the guy actually found the prototype and brought it into him to see if we could get it repaired and working. So it was a prototype that was going to be basically a Super NES with a disk drive built into it. And they had a basically almost final form prototype that something happened, things fell apart, and the result of that was Sony said, you know what? Went off and made the PS1.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people don't know that, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's your history lesson, kids. But there were a lot of great games that came out for the PS1, but it was a hand-me-down. Matter of fact, all my consoles were hand-me-down. Everything from the Game Boy, the NES, everything was always secondhand for me.
Right.
I didn't really get anything else at the time. I didn't have the money for it ever. But then a little bit later, when I was living with a roommate of mine, early 2000s, he got the Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
And the Dreamcast, in my honest opinion, to date, is the most amazing console that ever existed.
Yeah.
Flopped horribly.
I agree with you 100%. I had one.
Flopped horribly.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing console. It had network connectivity natively built into it.
Yes.
It had a controller with a little mini plug, for memory cards or a mini game, and most importantly, it had Power Stones, which was like the most fun beat 'em up game I've ever played. Up to 4 people could play it. It was kind of a 45-degree angle, run around, beat 'em, rock 'em, sock 'em kind of a game. But it had a unique style in that the play arena changed over the course of the battle. So you use pieces from the arena. You could get hit by the arena. You could utilize things from the arena to hit other people. It was amazing.
I really wish I never sold mine.
You sold yours?
I sold mine to a guy at work.
Dumbass.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not going to argue that point. Yes.
Yeah,
I wish I had it still.
It is. I wish I had one now, just because a lot of fun games to play on it, and it was very enjoyable. It's right up there with anything else. I've got a Wii now.
Yeah.
That's mostly for the kids to play like Mario Kart on. That's about it. I've got a PS2. I believe those again hand me down again. That isn't being used at all by the kids or me, so whatever. Now it's just I'm PC. I got a good game PC.
Yeah.
That was built for EverQuest. Basically, actually, no, I take it back. It was built for Diablo. Diablo and StarCraft. That's how I transitioned to PC, with StarCraft and Diablo.
Gotcha.
That's what got me to PC. I built a PC and never looked back since.
Pretty awesome. Oh, one of the other things about PS1 that I remember is it actually, you could buy like a cable and connect 2 of them and play a game multi-linked. Do you remember that?
Really?
Yeah, you could. I know this because a buddy of mine had a PS1, I had a PS1, and he would bring his over and we'd hook it up. Well, we would hook one up to the TV or whatever, but for games that you had to play 2 people, you need 2 consoles, the consoles connected, and then 2 TVs, right? And I didn't want to move or look around the TV every time he'd come over and play. So I actually grabbed or bought one of the cables, cut it, and then I used telephone wires to make it like 100 feet long.
And that worked.
And that worked. You know what? If I call him up to this day, he probably still has that cable. He has it coiled up in his closet somewhere.
There you go.
But I used to go over to his place, and he had a setup where he had 2 TVs, and we played Doom against each other, and it was amazing.
Nice.
So good. So good.
Very nice. All right, well, my friend, that is my walk through history.
Yeah.
And yours as well. It's fun to look back. It's fun stuff here, but we are running out of time, so I want to get us kind of wrapped up here.
Okay.
What's going on with you? Now we're back in the present day.
Well, right now I'm down to 2 people left for Christmas shopping, and you're gonna think, "Oh, Kirok, what kind of a person are you?"
I haven't even started yet. It's not even December yet.
It's not even December yet, exactly. And I'm like, I gotta get something for my brother, and I gotta get something for my mom. That's it, just the 2. And that's
should buy your brother a Dreamcast. Oh wait.
Oh man, you know what? They have that mini NES. Have you looked at that?
If you can find one.
It's impossible. Exactly. Oh my goodness. And that's it. That's all I've been really doing, working that. There's too much stuff going on and too little time to do it in, so I'm just trying to I haven't even sat down to play and record any games or anything, but Christmas is here, or winter is come, or not coming. Coming? Winter is coming.
Winter has wind.
Winter. So yeah, it's just the Christmas shopping at the moment. That's it. Work.
Yeah, fun stuff. I've been kind of half out of it. I haven't done much in renovation. I've been kind of lazy about that, and or sick, and or just tired. I'm trying to get back off of caffeine right now, so I'm like, as soon as I get off the podcast, I'm probably sure I'm going to probably fall over. Really and honestly, it's been a lot of work going on. I have to put a couple more videos up on my alt channel, which I've dubbed Warp Moto, which is my main channel that I do non-gaming stuff with. I have a few more that are going to be going up there. I'm still waiting on some pictures from a person who got hit in that accident that I witnessed, so I can add that to my video. That's about it for me on that front. Of course, we got all things going on with BRG, and a giant moth just flew in my face!
Is it the same one at the other end, the end of the other show?
I don't know. I have multiple bombing runs here. BRG's been my focus when I have free time. But being the holiday season, I'm trying to wind down a little bit more time with the family. But definitely, guys, if you have any interest in wanting to know more about it, always head over there. We got a lot of stuff going on. Of course, you can keep connected with us in regards to our YouTube channel. Anything new coming up? Nah. I mean, it's holiday season, so I don't expect anything grand coming up right now. Probably the new year and all that stuff. We do have a lot of events and whatnot going on. Again, guys, if you want to help us out here and you can't contribute money, I totally understand. I am broke as a joke without a punchline. So please feel free to promote us if you can. Give us a like, a thumbs up, a retweet. Head over to Votable here and give us some love if you like. And help us out a lot. It really would. And of course, as I said before, if you do have the cash, you do want to donate, you're certainly welcome to. We've got new ranges from $1 right up to $50 that you can pitch in to help us out here, and all that money goes back into the BRG community to pay for games, events, unboxings, etc. Yeah. So really appreciate it. All right. Anyways, Kirak, my friend.
Yeah, man. It was a good trip down memory lane.
We are busy the next couple of weeks here.
I know.
So we're gonna try.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. But like I said, guys, we're gonna try to get things wrapped up for the year, and then we'll have a couple of special episodes, and then it'll be into the new year. So we're gonna be working on that. So I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah, me too, actually.
All right. Good night, my friends. Right. Good night, Kirak.
Bye, everybody. Good night, Warped.
Take care.
See you all. Bye.
Bye.